You rolling, bud?
Rolling.
Hey folks, Josh here of Rugged Ridge Forest. At Rugged Ridge, we craft wood-fired, organic, pure Vermont maple syrup. In the process of crafting our maple syrup, we try to incorporate as much traditional horsepower as we can. That brings us to these two beautiful horses, Hilde and Hugo. Hilde is our 9-year-old percheron standardbred cross, the mare in the back. She came to me fully broke and ready to ride and drive. Hugo, on the other hand, is only 2 years old, and though I bought him from the same horse trader, he's much greener and this is his first time being driven double. We're starting off slow and keeping our expectations low, and while safety is our first goal, we're not going to worry if Hugo doesn't get everything just perfect the first time. We want to make sure that he's confident and smooth and not afraid of anything that we're doing.
Stop him.
I'm also lucky today to have the assistance of my friend Paul, who's a much more experienced horseman and teamster than I am. An extra set of hands and decades of experience are always a good thing to have with you when you're working with horses.
And then the other thing is, how's that line length looking?
Oh, well, I don't think now is the time to like the line length. I think it's when you're tight and
Just
dry.
make sure that they,
Yeah, tight and dry. I mean, look, usually they're about the same height.
We're starting off nice and slow, and I really couldn't have lucked out any better. My two horses get along so well together. They don't nip at each other. They really love each other's company. And so Hilde, who's a little bit more of a high-strung animal on her own, I think having low-key Hugo around will just make her feel more confident and at ease in the daily working life. She tries really hard to be on edge and to be on cue, and as soon as I click, to already take that first step. And I think Hugo's more chill, lackadaisical approach and also the comfort of another equine around, I think is really going to make her days pass a lot more comfortably. It's our first time out of the gate, and so I really didn't want to be too hard on Hugo. But in the couple times that we've done this since, I've flicked the reins a little bit on his butt just to give him the cue to stand up next to her, just to push him forward a little bit harder. And the more that I did that, the more that I got him walking alongside of her. But today I really wanted them to kind of feel it out a little bit, and I didn't want to be too hard on him. I figured more just positive, comfortable experiences under harness, especially together, the better, at least for day one.
They don't want to run away. They don't want to stop. They want to be with you.
I'll pick them up to you next turn around in the driveway. Walk on. Smooth horses. Pretty handsome team, huh?
You have a mismatched team up front, too.
Mismatched teams, you know, right? And you look at the,
Paul and I have different opinions on the mismatched team. Paul thinks it's really important that his horses look identical, but I really love a little bit of variety on the team. I wonder what you all think. I know that historically matched teams are kind of the way to go, but I only plan on having two horses, so why would I want two of the same horses? I think variety is the spice of life myself. Hilde is super forward and always a little bit eager to go, and I'm really trying to work on that with her. So if she tries to go a little bit forward, I definitely try to make her stop and stand like a statue, even take a couple steps back and chill, just so that she knows that whoaing is an active command and that she really needs to stand firm when I ask her to.
they're fine. They're fine with that.
I know, Hilde. I don't know why you...
And to be honest, that was pretty cool. A little spook, but really well and really easily held under control. Hugo is just such a chill guy. Hilde has spooked a couple times, and she's a little bit more of a bolter. If something really scares her, it takes a lot to hold her back, and it takes her a few seconds to really decompress. But Hugo, as you can tell, he is just chill and stoic in all the best possible ways. And the way that he got a little bit jarred, a little bit jolted when the dog popped out from over the knoll there, but 2 steps and, you know, he barely took any weight on the reins to stop. So he's downright perfect, and I think that chillness out of him is going to add a lot to Hilde, who's a little bit more forward and a little bit more anxious. And wow, what a beautiful turn. They just spun right around like they've been doing it for years. They both practiced that quite a bit singly, but to see it double, it's really, really satisfying.
Good, yeah. Should we just take him off on hitch and call it a win? No, go up and go do the exact same thing. Go up to the top and then he'll bring him down one more time. Maybe I'll take him up to the blue.
No, just repeat it, Josh. Repeat what you've done. Okay. Went good. Let's just repeat it. Look at me more punching, just walking them up and down the road in front of your house. Well, you know, this is like a perfect kind of little uphill.
Are you able to get in and get a nice shot of the butts right here? Nice.
All right, you gotta stop and start them more.
And whoa!
What's with the and whoa? Where'd you learn that one?
It gives him a second to get used to it, because you want to start with the subtlest cue, so it gets Hilde knowing that something's going to come up. Because if I just hit him, you know, if it's an emergency and I just hit him with a whoa, you know, like the end is like, oh, perk my ears, and then we're going to stop on a dime. Walk down. What do you all think? Leave a comment and let me know. I'm trying to get Hilde where she'll stop on a vocal cue, no pressure. And to be honest, she's about 60% of the time she will. And if I let her go, then I stay in the and the road. So Hugo's nickname is Lazy Boy, because he will trot, but he won't trot a single step more than you ask him to. He's so chill and so quiet, whereas Hilde really owns her body and really likes to give it her all every step. Hugo, he's still figuring it out, he's gaining his confidence, and, you know, he kind of defers to the easier route if he can. Try a left-hand turn, fairly sharp. Whoa. Poor Hilde, pretty much having to pull this knucklehead around by the bit, but they're both doing really well considering. So we basically repeated the same pattern one more time and then unhitched. You know, it was a quick 10 or 20 minute exercise, and then end on a win, put them away, and let it sink into their minds. I also wanted to share the story of my friend and mentor, Jay Kimball's line ring that he gave me. Jay is a 7th generation horse logger who lives in the town of Worcester, Vermont, where I currently live. And him and his family have been logging these hills with horses for over 100 years. And in between the horses that his family drove was this ivory ring that held the lines where they crossed. And he was digging through his storage unit and saw it, and he decided that it would be better off hanging between a pair of healthy horses than sitting on a mantelpiece somewhere. So I'm really honored to carry the torch of horse logging into the next generation, and hopefully one day pass this ring on to the next generation of horse loggers in Worcester, Vermont. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate if you could head on over to ruggedridgeforest.com and show your support by buying some of our wood-fired, organic, pure Vermont maple syrup. We're farmers first and content creators second, and in order to keep on doing what we do the best way we know how, we'd really appreciate your support. Thanks and have a great day.